Alright, what is up everyone? Get ready, because today we are going to completely change the way you see the world. I've spent days, weeks, scouring the entire internet, history books, and even talked to some ridiculously smart people to gather the most insane, mind-blowing, absolutely unbelievable facts you have ever heard. We're talking about things so crazy, you'll think I'm making them up. But I promise you, every single thing I'm about to say is 100% true. By the end of this video, your brain is literally going to be doing backflips. We have 12 facts that sound completely fake, but are scientifically proven, historically documented, and just plain awesome. I'm not kidding when I say this is the ultimate fact video on YouTube. We're not just giving you a few interesting tidbits. We are dropping an entire encyclopedia of pure shock and awe directly into your brain. Imagine going to a party and being able to drop knowledge bombs that make everyone stop and stare at you in complete disbelief. That's what this video is for. We're going to cover everything from history, science, animals, and the weirdest human inventions ever. So buckle up, grab a snack, maybe even a notepad, because you are not going to want to miss a single one of these. This is more than just a video. It's a challenge to see how much your mind can handle. And the best part? We're going on this crazy journey together. I want you guys to be part of this. As we go through each of these 12 facts, I want you to think about which one absolutely shatters your reality the most. Is it a historical event that lasted less time than an episode of your favorite show? Or maybe a scientific quirk that defies all logic? Keep a tally, because at the end of the video, I need every single one of you to go down to the comments and tell me which fact was your absolute favorite. The fact that gets the most mentions might even get its own dedicated video where we explore it even further. So, are you ready? Are you prepared to question everything you thought you knew? Because we are about to dive headfirst into a pool of pure, unadulterated knowledge that will leave you stunned. These aren't your boring, everyday school facts. These are the facts that get hidden away because they're just too wild for a textbook. From ancient civilizations to the mysteries of the animal kingdom and the limits of human achievement, we're counting down 12 things that will make you say, "No way," over and over again. Let's do this. The countdown of mind-bending facts starts right now. Kicking things off at number 1, we have a fact that sounds like a joke. Imagine a war that was shorter than the time it takes to order and eat a pizza. I'm serious. The shortest war in recorded history, the Anglo-Zanzibar War, lasted a grand total of 38 minutes. That is less time than it takes to watch an episode of most TV shows. An entire conflict between two nations. Ships, soldiers, or cannons could start and end before you could even finish your morning coffee. It wasn't a small skirmish. It was a declared war between the British Empire and the Sultanate of Zanzibar. So how does a war happen that fast? On August 27, 1896, the pro-British Sultan of Zanzibar died. His cousin, Khalid bin Bargash, seized power without British approval. The British were not having it. They told him, "Step down or else." They gave him an ultimatum to lower his flag and surrender by 9 a.m. Khalid, confident in his palace and a few thousand defenders, said, "Make me." The British parked 5 massive warships in front of his palace. The countdown began. At 9:02 a.m., with Khalid's flag still flying, the British warships opened fire. It was chaos. The wooden palace couldn't withstand modern artillery. Within minutes, the palace was a blazing inferno. The Sultan's small army tried to fight back. The armed yacht HHS Glasgow returned fire and was sunk almost immediately. Palace defenses crumbled, one of the most one-sided displays of power in history. The Sultan realized his life was in danger. 38 minutes after the first shot, at 9:40 a.m., the shelling stopped. Khalid had fled to the German consulate, abandoning throne and people. The war was over. The British declared victory, installed their chosen sultan, and even sent a bill for the ammunition they used to the new Zanzibar government. Imagine a war that ended before most people in the city even knew it started. It's a mind-boggling reminder that conflicts can be over in the blink of an eye. All right, for our next fact, we're going from a war that lasted minutes to a food that lasts for millennia. What if I told you you could eat the exact same food ancient Egyptian pharaohs ate? I'm talking about honey. Not just any honey, literally thousands of years old. Archaeologists digging in Egyptian tombs have found pots of honey over 3,000 years old. And here's the craziest part. It's still perfectly edible. It hasn't spoiled. It hasn't rotted. It's just as good as the day it was sealed, like a biological time capsule. How is this possible? It sounds like fantasy, but it's pure science. Honey has a natural superpower against spoilage. First, incredibly low moisture content. Most bacteria need a wet environment to survive. Honey is so thick and dry it draws water out of microbes. Osmosis. They can't survive in that sugar desert. Second, honey is extremely acidic. pH between 3 and 4.5. That's hostile to bacteria, like trying to start a colony on a planet of acid. Third, bees add an enzyme called glucose oxidase. That enzyme plus moisture makes small amounts of hydrogen peroxide. Yes, the same stuff you use to disinfect cuts, so honey essentially produces its own antiseptic. When archaeologists crack open a sealed pot in a pharaoh's tomb, they're finding a perfectly preserved food item. Often the ancient honey has crystallized and become solid, but gentle heating turns it back into golden, gooey liquid. A food designed by nature that can outlast empires, survive thousands of years, and still be safe to eat. Honey isn't just a sweetener. It's one of the most incredible, eternal substances on Earth. All right, let's get into some absolutely insane biology. You think humans are complex? Get ready for this. We're talking about octopuses. These things are basically real-life aliens living in our oceans. An octopus doesn't just have one heart, not like you or me, or even a whale. No, that would be too simple. This incredible creature has 3 hearts. It's like it's playing life on a different setting, with backup systems for its backup systems. So why would any creature ever need 3 hearts? 2 of the hearts pump blood through its gills. Think of them as specialized lung hearts, working overtime so the octopus can breathe underwater. And the 3rd heart? That's the main event, the systemic heart. But here's the craziest part. When the octopus swims, that main heart actually stops beating. This is why octopuses prefer to crawl rather than swim long distances. Okay, prepare to have your entire reality shattered. I'm about to drop a fact that will make you question everything you learned in elementary school. It's about fruit. We all know what fruit is, right? Apples, oranges, strawberries, bananas, simple. What if I told you scientifically you're probably wrong about all of them? Let's start with the banana. That classic yellow peelable snack you've been eating your whole life. But botanically, that banana is technically classified as a berry. Yes, a berry. The scientific definition of a berry is a fruit that develops from a single ovary of a flower and has a fleshy middle with seeds on the inside. Those little black specks in the middle? Those are its tiny, infertile seeds. By that definition, bananas, grapes, kiwis, watermelons are all berries. But wait, it gets even crazier. Strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, the things we call berries, are not. Botanically, strawberries are an aggregate accessory fruit. The fleshy part we eat is the swollen tip of the stalk. The outside seeds are the real fruits. Recap: bananas and watermelons are berries. Strawberries are not. Your whole life has been a botanical lie. I'll never look at a fruit salad the same way again. You think you're good at chess? But have you ever stopped to think about just how big the game of chess really is? I'm talking about the sheer number of possibilities. We're about to dive into a number so massive, so incomprehensibly huge, that it will literally melt your brain. Scientists tried to calculate the total number of unique chess games. The estimate is known as the Shannon number. It's around 10 to the power of 120, a 1 followed by 120 zeros. The number of atoms in the observable universe, about 10 to the power of 80. Chess absolutely dwarfs it. There are more possible games of chess than atoms in the universe. Every time you play, it's almost guaranteed to be a game never played before in history, and will never be played again. You are literally charting a course through a cosmos of possibilities larger than our own cosmos. All right, for our next fact, we're talking about one of the craziest animal group names ever. You know how a group of lions is a pride and a bunch of wolves is a pack, right? Well, what do you call a massive group of these super bright, super pink birds? I'm giving you 3 seconds to guess. Time's up. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. Could there be a more perfect name for a giant crowd of these ridiculously pink, long-legged birds? It's not just a name, it's a whole vibe, it's a spectacle, it's a life goal. Use flamboyance in a sentence today. Tell your friends, tell your family. This is one of my favorite facts. Okay, let's move from crazy animal facts to some insane architecture facts. We're talking about one of the most famous landmarks in the entire world, the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Over 7 million people visit this thing every single year. But what if I told you the Eiffel Tower you see in the summer is actually different from the one you see in the winter? I mean, the tower itself physically changes. It literally grows. The Eiffel Tower is made of iron, and when metal heats up, it expands. Thermal expansion. The 300-meter-tall structure gets taller as temperatures rise, up to 15 centimeters or about 6 inches. The top can also tilt slightly away from the sun because the sun-facing side expands more than the shaded side. The whole structure subtly moves with temperature, like it's alive. On a scorching hot day, you can say you saw the Eiffel Tower at its tallest possible height. We are leaving Paris, heading to Australia, the land of crazy animals, to talk about the wombat. Cute, furry marsupials, little stocky bears. But they have a secret, and it has to do with their poop. Wombats poop cubes. They mark territory with scent. Cubes stack and don't roll. Genius, gross, and effective. Parts of the wombat's intestines have different elasticity. Variable pressures mold the poop into cubes in the final gut section. It's the weirdest poop on the planet, and a wild feat of biology. We all know what a frisbee is, right? Well, his name was Walter Morrison, the genius behind the frisbee. When he died in 2010, his ashes were mixed with plastic and literally turned into a frisbee. The man who invented the frisbee became a frisbee. Bizarre, but also kind of beautiful. His creation brought joy to millions. It literally became his final resting place. Okay, let's move from one of the weirdest facts ever to one of the most majestic. Every country has a national animal. The USA has the bald eagle, Australia has the kangaroo. But Scotland, their national animal is the unicorn, a mythical creature, officially recognized since the 15th century. In Celtic myth, it symbolizes purity and power. Historically, the unicorn was the lion's enemy, a symbolic counter to England's lion. Visit Scotland and you'll see unicorns everywhere, on castles, coats of arms, even street signs. Alright, so we all know a day on Earth is 24 hours, and a year is 365 days, right? But on Venus, a single day is longer than its entire year. Venus takes about 225 Earth days to orbit the Sun, but 243 days to rotate once. A colossal ancient impact may have slowed and reversed its spin, retrograde rotation. The slow spin ties into its extreme heat, thick toxic clouds, and crushing surface pressure, one of the most inhospitable places in the solar system. Get ready for this one. It's a challenge for your brain and your mouth. It's a place in New Zealand with a name that has 85 letters. Okay, deep breath. The name of the hill is Taumata, Wakatangihanga, Kauau, O Tamatea, Turi, Pukaka, Piki, Maunga, Horo, Nuku, Pokai, Wenua, Kitanatahu. It's Maori and tells a story. The summit where Tamatea, the man with big knees, the slider, climber of mountains, the land swallower, played his kauau to his loved one. It holds the Guinness World Record for the longest official place name in an English-speaking country. And it's a major photo stop. I challenge you to try and say it in the comments. And that's a wrap. 12 facts that have hopefully blown your mind and changed the way you see the world, even just a little bit. From the shortest war in history to a hill with an 85-letter name, wombats with cube-shaped poop, an octopus with 3 hearts. Thank you for watching and coming on this crazy journey. We spent so much time researching these facts and had a blast doing it. If you enjoyed this and want more insane challenges, crazy facts, and epic content, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Every single subscriber helps us make bigger and crazier videos. Seriously, we couldn't do this without you. One last thing before you go. Which of these 12 facts surprised you the most? A day on Venus is longer than its year? The inventor of the frisbee was literally turned into a frisbee? Drop a comment down below and tell us which blew your mind. I'm curious to see which gets the most votes. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. See you in the next video. Peace!